Hi.
So, what are we talking about today, boys? They know what this
no
is.
intros? Yeah, it's true.
You know what this is. You know who we are. Come on.
Let's talk about aliens today. Let's just go, talk about what we think, and let's go deep into the rabbit hole. Let's talk about conspiracy shit that's, way off the fucking board. You've been listening to a lot of Bob Lazar lately?
Yeah, I just saw that new documentary with Jeremy Corbell or whatever.
Why don't you explain to our listeners what that is?
Man, he just says a bunch of shit that sounds crazy, and then, but it just kind of proves his point, the whole purpose of what he talks about. You've seen it, right?
Yeah.
You kind of know a little bit.
So, for people that don't know who Bob Lazar is, he worked in Nevada somewhere, and then a secret, air base.
S4.
Yeah, and where they were basically, in his words, back engineering some foreign or alien technology that was well out of our time. And the way this guy explains it sounds pretty damn believable. And he's drawing some shit up, and he's talked about an element. What was the element called?
115.
Huh?
It's element 115.
Yeah, 115.
Movus something.
And he had
starts with an M.
And he had talked about it before. I want to say before it was on the periodic table, if that's correct or not.
But the thing about that is, so there was 114, but he could have easily just said
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, the next one in line.
But he said that was the energy source that ran most of the stuff there.
Yeah, that's what he concluded or whatever.
It's Moscovium.
Moscovium. There we go.
That sounds like a medieval name.
Yeah, this was discovered back in 2003, and he would have discovered it back.
89.
Working with it in 89.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's just the whole bit about it being technology out of this world,
mm-hmm.
and that's kind of everyone's the shit he's saying is just impossible. It's not even remotely possible. That's his point.
Yeah.
It's we can't even begin to understand it.
I think my favorite thing about Bob Lazar, so if you take someone, and there's been a lot of people that have said this before, but if you take someone and, ask them about a story, eventually over time it's going to change. Well, for the past, 30...
If they're lying.
Yeah, if they're lying.
Yeah.
The past 30, 40 years, his story has stayed consistent. He's never changed anything.
Yeah, because I watched JRE with him first, and then saw the documentary, and it had footage from him back in the day, and his story was exactly the same.
Yeah.
He was saying the same things.
And about that 115 thing, he said they had 500 pounds of it or something.
Mm-hmm. It was a limited quantity.
We couldn't find or we haven't found this stable isotope of it, so people still think that's impossible. But
yeah,
if you think about other stars, other star systems or whatever, it's what if?
Yeah, the chemical makeup's gonna be a bit different.
A bigger planet, heavier gravity. You're gonna have I feel it would be natural to have heavier elements occurring naturally.
Yeah.
So just because they don't.
That's the thing about chemicals, though. It could literally be in another star system or another galaxy. It could be different composition of chemicals that are the majority.
115 might be just common there. It might be the
reason why things are the way they're here is because carbon is so heavily in the environment. We're carbon-based life forms. So.
That's
pretty cool.
These are facts.
Pretty cool stuff. Other alien stuff I'd like to talk about, because this is what I nerd out about, is so you know how they got the ancient astronaut theory?
I watched a lot of Ancient Aliens.
No. So how they got that was based off of Zecharia Sitchin's work, and he is a Hebrew scholar, and he studied old Semitic languages and stuff, and he learned how to read Sumerian. So he translated all the Sumerian tablets they found somewhere in Iraq. I can't remember the exact place, but
putting himself out there.
That's where the Sumerian culture came from. They were in around that area.
Okay.
That was the birthplace of civilization, as they call it. But he started decoding all these tablets, and he started noticing consistencies where it says oh, the gods taught us how to do this as far as agriculture and stuff like that. And so he started decoding it more, and basically his translations say that these race of beings called the Anunnaki came from another planet in our solar system, which would have been like, they called it the 12th planet, but it'd be like the planet right next to Pluto, because they counted our sun and our moon as a planet.
Okay.
So what would actually be the 10th planet outside of Pluto. And then they like started doing like depictions of like our solar system. It was like actually to scale on these tablets. And like that was the thing I saw on JRE where he showed that, but it's like how they know that, you know.
This was on JRE.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the?
He talked about that. Oh God, I can't remember who was on with him. It wasn't Zachariah. Zachariah's dead.
Oh, let's say this doesn't sound familiar.
Rip.
But no, it's pretty cool because it talks about how they came here and they basically jump started our civilization, and engineered us genetically to be how we are. From like the gap between whatever the Homo erectus or whatever it was before us, how it just kind of like changed so fast.
We're hearing about that whenever looking it up.
Yeah.
I don't know about the agriculture though.
Yeah. Well,
I feel like that could naturally.
Yeah, I feel like we could have learned that over time.
Trial and error.
But it seems like it does come out of that place, especially because we can kind of like look at where like certain strains of things come from, and it all comes from that area.
Yeah.
But I don't know, pretty cool stuff.
Stoned ape theory would be more like. I think that's more like possible.
Yeah, where we did LSD and evolved or whatever magic mushrooms. Not LSD.
Right. Yeah. That took
Smoke
more
the doobie.
years.
Yeah.
Smoke the doobster.
How they like as primates started to evolve, they're like pushed out of like the trees onto the.
Yeah.
You know, venturing out.
Out of the caves into the forest. Yeah.
They just started eating grass.
Started eating shrooms.
Ate a shroom.
And
I could see
then
that.
They say like shrooms like can literally help. I don't know. I'm not a gynecologist, but it's like it's like
it shows.
It could account or it could help the big jump in brain size.
Yeah.
I'm sure just pushing creativity.
I'm not a big alien believer.
No.
No, I think it's just a
so
very.
You just hear
you don't think there's any other alien out there?
So
you don't think there's alien?
No, I think there's aliens. I don't think that.
You don't think they could have made it to here?
I think that we would have more.
More evidence.
Yeah, I think it sounds very human-esque to want some kind of supernatural thing.
I think it sounds more human-esque to assume that we're the smartest intelligent thing in the universe.
I think it's human-esque to say that. Like, what I mean
that
is...
we think we're the smartest in the universe?
No, well, I mean, I think that we're probably the smartest in our solar system. Like...
Maybe.
Because I think there's no aliens around here. This just goes back into, like, the Fermi paradox and stuff. Like, it just all ties back around to that.
I don't really believe in the Fermi paradox. I don't think there's anything stopping.
I feel like that's something you can't really... That just sounds like I guess it is a theory, so...
It's an idea.
It just sounds...
Something that
something like you can't...
from...
You're like predicting something you have no... power. Yeah. Yes.
No, I just think that...
It just seems crazy.
I think that... Man, it's tough. I just feel like we would know. I don't get why they would sit back and just doesn't make sense to me.
The way Neil deGrasse Tyson put it, how like we don't think about, say, like an ant on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Like we pay no attention to them, so why would something that's far more advanced than us like care?
You don't think that we would just see them somehow with,
because they're just too far away, man.
But if they were here, like,
we would know.
You think that they just were here and then... I'm talking about, okay, so are we talking about aliens visited a long time ago? Or, like, aliens come and hang out every now and then?
I'd say just them existing. Other intelligent life.
I totally believe intelligent life exists.
I think they could have came a long time ago. Because, like, I don't know. Like, I'm a big fan of...
Jumpstart, isn't that, like, a big no-no, too? Like, isn't that a thing? Like,
that I don't know.
They, like, help jumpstart us?
It's like us going to, I don't know, Pakistan.
Like, why not? Like, the whole idea in the tablets was that they needed extra hands.
We're gonna go help
work. So, like, that's how the story goes.
Yeah.
But they needed, like, extra hands, like, mining, because they needed gold for some fucking reason. But they needed help mining, so they, like... You know, the workers they brought with them, they were like, we're tired of fucking working. So they, jump-started these primates that were on here. That way they could, like, handle tools and take commands and stuff like that.
That sounds ridiculous.
Okay, yes, my quarrel with that.
It's a story that's talked about in a lot of, like, ancient religions. Like, even if you talk about, like, the Nephilim in the Bible, or you got a Hindu scripture, and they talk about...
More stuff that sounds ridiculous.
Well, religion, yeah.
I mean, all information had to come from somewhere, and if it ties in with each other, like, it kind of supports it.
But it could be created information too. That gets passed off as true.
I believe that there's life out there. Totally.
I think a scarier thought is the fact, or the possibility that there isn't. Could you imagine?
Being the only
infinite universe.
I think we're definitely made by design, though. Everything follows a mathematical pattern.
Yeah, but I mean, the universe created by the universe. I could agree with. But.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. It just seems very convenient to believe in something like that. It just sounds like a supernatural kind of thing that I think
it sounds less supernatural, and it's trying to go off of, like, what is actually possible.
Yeah, come on.
No, like, so
why wouldn't we just know that there's aliens then? That's what I don't understand. It's like,
people in ancient times did. They say they lived with them.
Maybe the public doesn't know.
They lived with them?
People in all the ancient scriptures said they lived, like, with these beings.
I feel like that would be, like, moderately documented.
I feel like they didn't have the internet back then, so they were bored as shit.
Like the Greek gods and shit. What if that's where all that came from?
Mm.
Like, what about them? Actually,
like he just said, it would be documented. Like, what if that's like
in Greek mythology, they had personal experiences, like whether they were doing drugs and, like, communicating with, like, outside experiences that way, or
I think
whatever.
It'd be more like just like an ant and, like, the human thing. Mm-hmm. It's like because we're on another dimension. So I think it would be like dimensional, not like coming from.
That's something I believe in too. I think aliens could be dimensional too, and not just far away.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So
because just
time
kind
of has to be like, travel.
Time is like you're not going to be able to break that. Yeah. You know, no one's going to make it to us. I don't think it's it would have to go around it somehow.
I just find it really convenient that they would be able to find us.
But what if they're super advanced and they're looking for another intelligent life form?
I mean, we're already looking.
And then they would overlook us.
A top contender.
If they're smarter than us, why wouldn't they be able to find us?
But why would they search for us?
We're searching.
They have the same question.
We search. We do the same shit.
They want to know the meaning.
But if we're saying that they're so far advanced that, like, we would be like an ant to them, they would just overlook us because that's not intelligent life.
That was one person's thought. Like,
unless we're the only other intelligent life form.
I think in our
then they want to know where they came from.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Or what they could have come from.
Okay, so, like, say that we're searching and we find.
Well, I don't think we can.
Life.
I think just the sheer space makes it impossible
for us right now. I feel like
I think it's a human thing to want to go and find something, but I feel like.
Fortunately, we're on the outer cusp of our fucking galaxy too. So.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems very. It's like believing that when you die, you get to go hang out with your dog again. Very convenient human belief, to make.
I think all beliefs are valid.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know about that.
I believe intention is a very powerful thing. Like, I don't know. Like,
whatever you believe in will come to fruition.
I want a Lamborghini.
Kinda, not to that extent, but I believe, like, if enough people think and then, like, set their minds, the intent is very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where religion comes from.
Yeah.
Not even bashing it. I think there's some good to come from that. It gives you, like, some guidelines to be a somewhat decent human being.
Yeah, I just feel like it's tough. I would like there to be aliens. I think that would be cool. I would like to interact with them.
Yeah.
But it's like, what would the intelligent, like, difference be? Could you really react?
So what do you think about Bob Lazar and, like, the stories like that, and what do you think about, like, the stuff that CNN's putting out, like, this past week, like how they have, like, advanced unknown, like, aerial aircraft and stuff
so
like
it's confirmed that there's been UFOs that we don't know what the fuck they are.
So
now it could be another country. It could be another country's technology that we don't know about. It very well could be, but
that's terrifying.
Could be our own. That they
don't
seeing
even
it don't know.
Yeah, shit just goes down. It's a rabbit hole.
So
what do you think, Bob Lazar?
I don't really know his story.
Just basically, he worked at S4, which is like a sector of Area 51, and he like broke the story like about us having us working on technology that is not of this world. Like he specifically worked on, I think it was like propulsion.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Anti-propulsion.
So he like admits he knows like nothing beyond what he worked on. About like he just knows the propulsion system, or at least began to know. Obviously, with the technology, you don't know what the fuck it is. You can only know so much.
I just think there's so much in our own world that we don't know, like on just Earth.
Yeah.
You know.
So if they keep that from you, why wouldn't they keep?
So he's
other
saying
stuff from
he's saying stuff.
They couldn't
not
keep that secret, man. There is no way.
How?
You're talking about
you don't think of it as a national security threat. No one would keep it from you.
See, that's a good point. Yeah. If it's so powerful and it's not of this world, why would they want?
I mean, how many people are we talking about keeping a secret? They don't go home and tell their wife.
Well, it's so compartmentalized that they don't know.
And no,
this
actually,
is what he was saying too.
There's a lot of people in the military when they get confidential stuff, they're trained not to tell like any spouse or anything, and they don't. So I could very well see like if it's all like top military brass and stuff like that, they're keeping it, till their death.
Maybe.
I
don't know.
So that's where it gets into where he's talking about like getting raided by the FBI.
Yeah.
There was claims about there's a big like claim about him not have gotten a degree from the schools he said he got.
Oh yeah.
Because there's like no records.
Yeah, there's no records.
And he
deleted his history.
Yeah, and that's what he said. And like that sounds okay. He's ridiculous. But then, what if that really is the stake? Is like this is technology that is incredibly powerful.
That's like what you're saying. Like they couldn't keep it secret. It's like, well, he didn't. But if enough people don't believe it, then it doesn't matter. He's just like the crazy guy. It's like, and that's why they deleted his whole history and like discredit him. Like, he lied about everything else he did in his life. Like, why would that be?
Exactly. And this is decades ago, so I'm sure it's easy to influence society.
Like he said it looked like he said he went inside of it and it looked like it was like 3D printed for something like a third the size of a human.
Yeah.
And there was like no buttons or no anything. I think he's described it as being like driven by intent.
That's dope. I mean, it sounds cool. That's what I mean.
So
is like,
sick, dude.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is like I would love for like this stuff to be true. I'm not saying like it's impossible. I'm just saying it's improbable.
It is. I mean, yeah, it's improbable.
But I mean, like
based off of what you know, it's improbable.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I feel like that's how
that's all
life works.
Based off of what you've seen and what you've experienced.
Right. It seems improbable. If there was like something that came out to prove me wrong, it's not like I would be like, no.
See, the tough part is they talk about, or they asked him if he got out some of Element 115, because apparently he stole some or something like that.
Yeah.
And they cut off the documentary right there.
Oh yeah, he won't talk about that for legal reasons.
Oh shoot, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one part in the documentary. I guess this is a bit of a spoiler alert, where he said they showed him like getting raided the day after he like had the interview. So I don't know what the validity of that is, but
I mean, if they're constantly going and raiding them over like again and again.
No, he said it's been like 3 times he's been raided or something.
Get that back, boy.
We need our fucking alien technology back.
We only have 499 more pounds.
They pull up CNN UFO disclosure or something like that. Because
there you go. This is 100% proof for the skeptic over here.
Well, it's not really proof. It looks
it's 100% factual proof.
It looks like a blur, but it came from the Navy. And what I think is
from the Navy.
What I think is funny about it is To the Stars Academy. It's like name is in the corner. It's like what the fuck, but they said it came from the Navy.
That's how you know it's real.
Yeah,
but
you can't even argue.
Okay, that's weird.
To the Stars name is on our computer.
I mean, probably. It's probably already on there.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it, I think.
Yeah. What we got, Cody?
I never saw the To the Stars watermark being on there.
Yeah, they released it they released the video last year.
Yeah,
the same
that.
video. And they said like the Pentagon released it then. And now like CNN started putting it up there like this week. And it's funny because like the To the Stars thing was in the corner. It's like they keep changing their story, so it's like, is this like what are y'all trying to do?
What does To the Stars have to say about it?
Oh, To the Stars, yeah, they use it as evidence.
So they just put their name on it and released it.
Solid business move.
Look what we got.
I don't know like why To the Stars put their name on it, but when the original video was released, it wasn't.
It wasn't on. Okay.
Yeah.
It's so that you know that it's real.
I guess.
It's like an authentic patch.
I feel like that would just anything that To the Stars is on would instantly discredit.
See, I don't know about that either because like.
I guess it is kind of like
Tom DeLonge sounds crazy, and I don't want to believe anything the dude says. Like I really don't want to, but then you see his like staff of people, and it's like all these high up government people, like ex CIA and ex Department of Defense. Is like wow, like what is actually going on? So
maybe they're all just retired and now they have a hobby.
They're bored.
That's true. Maybe they're just like kind of feeding the fire. I don't know.
Go ahead, Cody.
Yeah, so it's funny that you say they're just kind of feeding the fire with everything because it's like they're having a bunch of people in the military say they witnessed a bunch of unidentified flying aircrafts, but they call them aircrafts even though they're defying the laws of aerodynamics. I feel like it's just like it's barely saying anything. It's just saying that they saw something and then they're telling people about it and they're not that's it.
Well, what's funny about the guy that was the pilot, like
write that down in the notebook.
The pilot of that aircraft, I think it was the pilot, or like maybe it was a statement made by the Navy itself, but it was like these things made impossible maneuvers at that speed. Like the object would go along and then take a 90-degree angle in the opposite direction at the same speed, which is
correlates with what Bob Lazar was saying about the way the crafts
it is weird
flew.
When you see that stuff. I'm not
how it correlates?
Well, no, just like when you see like those crazy videos and shit. It doesn't make.
It's really cool the way he like talks about how the ships fly because it like there's like a gravity field around it, so it kind of like pulls it.
But at the same time, think about. I still feel like they did see it. I feel like it is an unidentified aircraft, but it's like
definitely
drones can move like that.
It could definitely belong to us, or it could belong to somebody of the government. Like, there's that possibility
I think it's more likely that it's like some advanced military testing with like a big drone type,
So like, Area 51.
Yep.
Like 40 years ago, right? That's when.
A lot more than 40.
Yeah. What the fuck have they done?
It's almost 2020.
Like, don't you think that we would have got some information from them?
Well,
they do, yeah.
They did like say there is an Area 51.
Yeah, they declassified a bunch of shit.
But Obama said the words Area 51, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think he was the first president to
not my president.
Really?
Hashtag.
That's crazy.
But
JK miss you, OB.
Yeah.
OB.
But I do think it was mainly a military.
Yeah.
Like experimental base. I guess.
Yeah, they had like I think a lot of like the most advanced fighter jets came out.
Yeah, it's like the F-12 and shit.
So like it is curious. You say like how would we not figure out about that stuff? Like, well, what if it's human made and we still don't know about it? Like
Then
Same,
We don't know what's in our ocean, so
we don't.
garbage. I'm assuming.
Lots of
Plastic.
Yeah.
But like. I don't know.
Yes,
I agree with you. We don't know enough to make a for sure judgment.
Yeah.
But it's fun to like speculate, and it's more fun for me personally. Like, yeah, it's fun to speculate about like aircraft and shit like today. But like, what I think is really curious is how like, we went from like sun worship back in like ancient times. Like, most of the indigenous peoples worship like sun god or the moon god or something like that, and then you have these certain religions that worships these human-like gods. It's just curious to me, like, and then they talk about like their technology they had, and across from Hindu where they called them like shims or something like that, where they came down in shims or came down in a whirlwind in the Bible.
What is a shim?
Cody, look up shim Hindu.
A fiery chariot. Like in Christianity, it says a fiery.
Is that what it is?
It says fiery chariot. Whirlwind is another word that's used that people are like, oh, that could be a ship.
Chariot of fire.
A chariot's not very aerodynamic.
Well, that's just.
Well, she's powered by God.
Maybe
You can't take it so literally. It's like they're trying to describe stuff that they can't understand.
True.
In terms that they have, just like we are now.
Man, back then, I could believe it. I could see everyone believing that shit.
That would be my way to describe things.
Okay. Maybe look up like.
You know, because they don't have language. So
right.
I'm sure they have language.
Spaceship, Hindu, something like that.
Right.
So it comes up.
Not possible.
Do you think that...
You know that bees talk to each other?
Bees?
Yeah.
No.
What about they talk about?
Like, what do you think?
Maybe it was Shem and Sumerian, but Vimana, like.
No, we're talking about bees now.
The shape.
So bees, when they find like a really good
just
flower patch,
pull up like an image.
they like come back to the hive, and then I think they like do a dance, and they're like giving the other bees instructions on how to get there.
I hear they're very elaborate. Yeah.
So they started building these things on top of their like towers and cathedrals, but like.
Cody, would you mind moving 45 degrees to your port side?
And time stamping this.
But like they think the reason they started doing that exact shape is because it represented something else. But I don't know. Like all ancient cultures use pyramid shaped objects too. So.
Yeah, that's
maybe
true.
It's just humanly aesthetic.
Pyramid's just like the most stable way to build.
Yeah. Makes sense too.
Yeah.
Do you think that aliens would look like us?
Yes.
If I'm looking at like all the scriptures and stuff, yeah.
I think that's always really interesting.
I think everything's coming from the same universe, unless they're not from the same universe.
I think everything would be humanoid. I don't think it would exactly be human.
It'd probably be different.
Yeah.
I think the same
adapted to their environment.
I think the same basic design, is where we're bipedal and have like limbs.
I heard that the most likely would be that it would be like a silicone-based life instead of carbon.
Sorry. Silicone.
Silicon? Wait,
okay.
No, I was just
Halloween.
No, I wasn't laughing at how you're saying it. I
was
thinking of dildos.
Wow.
Oh, not surprised.
On that note.
But I think that it is interesting to think about what they would look like.
Yeah.
Because
what about, have you heard like the typical little green alien description that everyone has with the big eyes and the big head and the...
Aren't they grays?
Tiny? That too.
Yeah, there's grays, there's reptilians.
Have you heard... I forgot where I heard this too, but like that kind of fits into like human...
Or evolution.
Sitting in front of screens.
Yeah.
And really big...
My science teacher told me that.
Is that where I heard that?
I don't know about
that. It's about... Because like...
You heard it from his science teacher?
I heard from him, apparently.
Yeah. No, because I remember when he was talking about this, about like humans evolving to be like... Since we're so fixated on technology and stuff, so you're sitting in front of a screen, like way in the future, you just be sitting in front of a screen for hours. So like naturally your brain would take in more information, so you'd be able to have more capacity there. Your eyes would like be like black because you're just staring at a screen all the time, so you don't want to allow like you don't want to be harmful. Your fingers are long because like most of your stuff's gonna be on like you're just working with touch screens and typing and stuff like that. So
it's kind of neat to think about.
It's an interesting thought.
Mm-hmm. That was an interesting.
Hey, you guys are having interesting thoughts.
Interesting. Huff, back to you.
With the weather.
Aliens.
Aliens, no!
Another thing Neil deGrasse Tyson said on JRE, one of them that he was on. He said that like if the type of civilization that could colonize the galaxy would be like the kind that wouldn't.
Yeah. Let's talk about structures on other planets.
Good band, R.I.P.
I don't know where we got cut off.
That's cool. Look up Face on Mars.
Short break.
Just want to get some food.
I am hungry.
What? Faces on Mars?
Face on Mars.
I do have the munchie.
Trigger.
What are we looking up?
Face on Mars.
Face on Mars.
Face on Mars.
Did you see Elon? Elon tweeted the picture of Mars and it was the blood moon. You see that Elon tweeted a picture of the blood moon and said it was Mars?
No.
Oh, really? What an idiot.
He's
not allowed to make mistakes.
He wasn't joking.
So check this out, Trey.
He could have been.
He could have been the ultimate troll.
This came originally from a satellite image from NASA. and they like claimed it was like, it was just camera distortion or whatever, and then they released another picture where it looked blurred. So this one came out first.
You just don't think that that's just a coincidence?
The rock
that
surface of Mars?
That we're like made to try to find faces and things?
Oh, we definitely do. That's definitely a thing.
Maybe.
I mean, you can look up toast and find faces in it.
I feel like that's a law. Some kind of law where we're meant to make faces out of things.
Yeah, it's...
Or look for faces in things.
Yeah.
Cody, we pull up toast with faces in it?
Yeah, with Jesus in it and Elvis.
Yeah, there's a water spout that looks like Mary.
Yeah.
There's a washing machine.
Mary.
There's a puppy and then wood. There's a mop.
Like that cloud looks like a toaster. Like, or pattern recognition machine. But I want to look at it.
I guess like my big thing would be, I feel like we want the
doggo.
We want like the supernatural because
of course.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of genetically entwined in us.
it is. I wonder why.
Yes.
Like
It's aliens, bro. We just went over this.
I think there's a lot of things that we can't explain. So
Is it just because we have the minds for creativity and so we've heard these stories, so we like crave that?
yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot of things the human brain and human experience can't explain because there's a lot of things that, our experience we don't take in.
I definitely think there's supernatural, like would be considered supernatural things out there.
Like what? Ghosts? You can tell me you believe in ghosts?
No, just
Not aliens?
I have it hard to believe that it's on Earth. Like I feel like maybe really far away where the laws are different or something.
Maybe.
So that's just kind of how
So
I
it would
feel
be
like it's a very
to us.
Could you imagine like
dome on the moon? I just want you to see all these things that people have talked about.
Dome on the moon, we probably see it from here.
dome on the moon? Just looks like a
Whatever came to the face on Mars came from it.
You look up, what's the word I'm thinking of?
Applesauce.
Applesauce.
dabble sauce.
Monolith.
Dolphin. Dabblesauce.
I think the monolith is on Phobos. It's one of Jupiter's moons.
Monolith. That's the first song on LD 50 by Monolith.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if there was like human-made structures on other planets in the solar system.
Just look up Phobos.
You wouldn't be surprised?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Human-made structures.
I'd be very surprised.
Well, because like when we talked about it one time too, how we think we're like monkeys, us, and it's like a straight line. But I think it's more likely that over millions or hundreds of thousands of years, we get really far,
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's like we could have been way more advanced in the past, been able to, already been to Mars, already been to.
Yeah, I think it was that one.
Different moons.
Because the shadow it cast.
Don't you think they would have found a way to document that though?
The second
Well,
one.
I mean,
it would all be on the internet. It would all be on the cloud, and that's going to get wiped out when you have a catastrophic event like a comet strike or something. Like all traces of the internet, all the mass information that we've ever got as humans, it would all disappear, and Mount Rushmore would be left, and they'd be like, "Who are these 4 guys that they worshipped?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I mean, if you believe in that, then that's pretty much the Fermi paradox. It's like some kind of event kept putting people back because they couldn't keep expanding.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if we found shit, it'd have to be in like a different solar system. Because if it was something on like Mars, we could find it easily.
How?
It's like a
whole
send
our boy
send
Rover.
Curiosity or Rover. Which one do we lose?
That's
we lose
one little guy.
Curiosity.
That's one little guy rolling around an entire planet.
And
if we can
nothing's gonna
photograph
survive
and
with
no
stone.
one knows how long ago too. Maybe 150,000 years ago. Maybe that's just
what you got.
Nothing's gonna survive
so
either but
weird to
rock and
think of,
stone
like,
too.
time.
So
Just how long?
any other material is gonna deteriorate. So all that's left is gonna be stone and rock formations.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, just be
Cody, were you?
Do you think dinosaurs exist?
No.
exist currently.
Existed.
They could.
I would say so.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, we have fossils. It's a good start.
Or was that a hoax?
I was just joking.
What you got, fam?
I don't know.
Alright, man. So, Buzz Aldrin talked about these pictures that he just brought up.
To infinity.
And it's a quote that says, when people find out about these, they're going to say, who put that there? Who put that there? Well, the universe put that there, or if you choose, God put it there. And I think that's just a really swell quote, because he's talking about how, these are just the way, things formed.
Mm-hmm.
And
also a possibility.
That's the very well just could be that way.
Yeah.
I like mine better.
Very likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we just want
more fun.
We want a crazier story.
I think we do. I think that's for sure. I don't know.
Why can't we just be content with?
I just like the idea of like I said, this stuff's fun to look at, like current stuff, but it's just more fun to me to like look back at old stories and then being like, oh, we got this knowledge from these people. They interacted with us. They lived with us.
It's weird to think of past humans.
But maybe also. Oh, I don't know. I had a thought, so just so everyone knows.
I think it'll be interesting in like another 100,000 years. Just like the stories of us just will be forgotten, and it's like, what crazy things will they make up that we did or didn't do?
Mm-hmm.
The Hunted, the show. That's where I was going with that, because I was thinking, if after one of these big catastrophic events, the people that we were talking about, like that, go around and restart like civilization, maybe that's just like the surviving group that
That'd be cool. So then they
saying?
technically got the information from their gods.
Right, because they would have stuff that looks like magic. And,
that's interesting. Yeah.
That's another.
I have to talk about this, or my mom's gonna get mad at me.
Hi, Shauna.
She always would bring up about how like gods and stuff, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about, were like aliens, and like they were just these supernatural beings that I wish I could remember the story she told me better, but pretty much that they were from like a different dimension or like part, and so like those are the stories of like they're not going back to the clouds or something, they're going back to wherever they came
their
from.
Dimension.
Yeah.
I think that's entirely possible too. Like, and if we want to tie that in with what Brian said about the stoned ape theory, like maybe we started noticing these gods when, we came through and started eating mushrooms and stuff.
Stoned ape. What a great name.
Stoned
for
ape theory. Yeah. It's actually like super plausible when someone like that knows all the words.
Yeah.
When Joe Rogan says it and doesn't mess up the words.
And you say them all in a row.
What was that? What was that guy's name that came up with that?
Terrence McKenna?
Yeah, Terrence McKenna, yeah.
There was another guy on there
Big
recently
psychonaut.
talking about...
Oh, yeah.
There's another guy on there recently, he was like a mushroom guy.
Paul Stamets.
Yes, that one was awesome. What do we like? What do you say? We're like 60% like fungal.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we're basically just huge fungal.
We share the same DNA as mushrooms, 60% of it.
60%.
I liked when he was talking about, this is kind of going off the wall of what our topic was, but I liked when he was talking about how like there's these Japanese scientists and they place, this fungal colony in this map of like downtown Tokyo, and they put like its object or its food source, in this like busy area, and it took the fastest route to it. So it's just really cool, like what we think about like what intelligence is and like what we don't think is actually intelligent, but it actually
that
is.
That could be survival.
They put like food on each subway stop, right?
Yeah.
On each station, and then it like...
I did a bad job explaining it, but it took the fastest
it's really cool
route.
though. Like they moved, I think it was all of... Yeah, it was like a big...
Yeah.
They food sources on different cities and different like stops, and then it like... At first it started just spreading out, just like exploring, and then it rearranged itself in the like most possible efficient way that's like even more efficient than
what they had. Yeah.
What is doing this? What is making this trek?
Just fungus.
That's wild.
Yeah.
It's weird.
So I mean, things are intelligent. Things do have
survival skills,
survival instincts.
He was also saying, Paul Stamets was saying, like even in the soil's like some huge percent fungal matter, and it's like it all like communicates with each other. It's basically like
big brain,
an internet.
Ooh.
Like
sucks for the vegans.
Man, that's pretty wild to think about. That's kind of terrifying to think about. That the
whole world is alive, man.
Yeah,
for real. That just goes back to watch the movie Avatar, because that's.
I mean, the only thing that sets us apart from like.
I've never seen it. I need to.
The only thing
the blue people. You ever seen Avatar?
Yeah, I saw that shit.
That's crazy. A great movie.
I know Avatar: The Last Airbender.
It's a good band.
There is the meme that was kind of like, everyone's seen Avatar, but no one can actually remember a thing that happens in it.
No, I don't remember a goddamn thing about that.
The only thing I remember is he like is infiltrating. Yeah. And then he falls in love or something. I don't know.
It's basically Pocahontas, but.
And he rides that mammoth, right?
Yeah.
She rides that mammoth, or he does?
Is it she?
Oh no!
How dare you?
There are men and women in the movie. Yes.
Okay.
And they both ride the big things.
Yes.
The mammoth.
Now we're talking. Avatar X.
I want to see
Avatar.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Good movie.
I was gonna bring something else up about what were we talking about? We're talking about like the network of mycelium, how it like communicates with each other. It's like, the only thing that separates us from the animal kingdom, or whatever kingdom, plant, fungi, is just that we're able to take these signals. Our brain acts like a receiver, and we're able to make sense of them, and experience and have like different opinions and stuff about them, like
consciousness.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big one though.
But it's like
But it's possible that it's also conscious, but it's not. It's we're like conscious as individuals. Yeah, it's like it could just be.
We get the ideas from somewhere. We're just able to draw in the information, which I think is
communicating. Like I get that they're communicating like that, but I feel like having language is pretty nifty little tool that we have.
Or if it's
it divides us,
like bees.
I think language just divides us. Yeah.
Yeah, define language too.
Yeah,
it's like
English. I think you mean it divides us because there's so many different languages and you can't communicate with everybody. Oh, see, that's gonna end soon though.
Why?
When English takes over.
I think it's why. Look at Google Translate. You know what? Anytime somebody comes in to Domino's and they don't speak English, I literally pull my phone out and just have them talking to the thing and do Spanish to English translation. It's like, and that's just gonna get like a lot faster.
So you think that takes down the border of?
Yeah. Because I can understand what they're saying.
When you have those little earpieces in that translate in real time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's more.
Well, I understand. I'm saying in time it's going to become like that. No. I'm not saying like just having my phone to do that is convenient. No, but I think that they'll be able to talk in like real time and you'll be able to just understand them.
That would be, that seems very.
Still won't replace emotion. I think emotion is the best communicator.
You think that's a human thing? You don't think animals?
I think animals can emote.
It's trippy, man. I often think about if the dogs are conscious or something like that.
I mean,
what are they doing? What are they thinking? Mm-hmm. Isn't it whales and dolphins are the only
what?
They have larger.
How they relate to humans?
They can see. They can recognize themselves. Elephants can too, like in the mirror. They're like self-aware.
I mean, I think everything is conscious, but it's just like it's whatever vessel it's in. Mm-hmm. There's a conscious person inside of a dog, but its whole consciousness is being filtered.
Get out of there! Get him out!
I got you, bro. No, it's like the whole show is being run through a dog's anatomy. Mm-hmm. It's like a biological spacesuit that person is.
Damn, that's weird thinking about too.
That being is in.
I definitely think dogs have like souls.
Yeah, that's what that would mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially soul.
Like.
So maybe there's no difference in intelligence. If they're equally. We're more capable of expressing intelligence.
I hate to bring up Black Mirror.
Here we go, number 9.
It's like with the little Miley Cyrus doll, and it had that when they plugged into the computer and released the like, oh god, what's it called? Like where it holds it down to, and then like they release it. Remember they released it to where like all of her intelligence, a barrier. It's like a barrier of like holding down the intelligence that little robot could have. Mm-hmm. You know. So it's like
you're saying that's the difference between us and dogs is they're kind of
they have like a barrier, yeah, and it's just
barrier.
Not released. It's like they have like consciousness.
I feel bad for the dogs.
The barrier is their anatomy, and like we have the same barrier. So it's like, what are we really? We're being filtered through this.
Yeah, I think each species has its limitations, in that we just evolved, to be be able to use tools and.
Yeah.
We're better than everything on this planet. +1 for humans.
Like, thank God for thumbs, man. Like,
yes, thank God for thumbs. Exactly. I mean, like, do dogs wish they had thumbs?
I'm sure.
Where's this going?
I guess they wouldn't be.
I think we're just talking about like.
God, I wish I could open.
I think we're talking about intelligence as an evolutionary aspect, like, because I mean, look at like there's certain chimps now that are technically in their Stone Age. Like they're starting to use rough tools.
Age. We just need to give them shrooms and then they'll evolve.
Yeah, give them a doobie, give them a hit.
That'd be an interesting experiment.
That would be.
Yeah.
I wonder why they haven't done that.
How hard is it to get a monkey?
It's illegal to give shrooms to a
do it in Denver.
Give LSD to a monkey.
Take the monkeys to
Who will
Denver.
that? Is it illegal to give monkeys psychedelics?
If not, that should be like our next episode is us going to the zoo.
Come here, little fucking, what's that cartoon there?
Oh, man.
Wow.
Oh, man. That would just be wild to watch.
Oh,
just give a...
Yeah, a little ape runs up from the... You just give him some shrooms from the fence. Like, here we go. For science.
You ever tried DMT?
Pull this shit up, bud.
Holy shit.
I think Community is like another big thing. Like,
good show.
Well, I think like social like interactions are like another thing that also advanced us, and I think that's why also other primates are kind of more advanced than other animals, is they have like a social community, like a hierarchy. And
I feel like a lot of animals do.
Mm. I think that dogs helps with evolution. I think that's also
definitely.
I think that's also hardwired into us. Like, we have to be around people, and
yeah, it definitely helps with evolution.
So,
because then you can do shit that's not possible with one person. Mm-hmm. Cody, did you have something?
They're trying to make it legal to have THC treats for dogs.
Oh, well,
don't they have CBD treats for dogs?
Because is it illegal? Of course it is, because it's illegal to give them weed.
Well, it's also illegal for us to have it.
Dogs. I was talking about the chimps.
Oh, the chimps?
Yeah.
Let's say we're not going to learn much from getting the dogs high.
Yeah.
We're just going to eat. We're just going to eat.
Yeah, we don't want to give them weed. We want to give them shrooms. So they can get
Do you think that we evolved from like chimps as we know it?
I think we have a common ancestor. I don't think we evolved from chimps as we know it.
If chimps are entering the Stone Age right now, I could see it being very possible. Very plausible.
But people are always like, well, if we evolved from chimps,
why are there still
chimps?
Yeah.
There's a really good answer to that, and I don't remember.
In 2015,
science.
Testing on chimps was ended. So it was illegal.
Have they given a chimp LSD or magic mushrooms?
I'm sure
we need to know.
Yeah, that's a tough call. Should you be able to test that kind of shit on animals?
Probably not.
I mean, we shouldn't be able to. But in
someone should.
Definitely
I just want to know if there's any validity to the stoned ape theory, if they've done it like with the actual ape.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it would take a couple.
Here we go.
Couple mil years.
What happens when scientists give psychedelics to animals?
They fucking party.
They put on Wiz Khalifa.
They were trying to communicate with dolphins. Some scientist was trying to give a dolphin LSD.
Yeah.
Remember that story?
That sounds like a drug addict, Brian.
You got
it right there?
Okay, perhaps the most notorious psychonaut involved with animal testing was John C. Lilly. Oh, he was trying to figure out how to talk to dolphins. So he was...
And then, and the chick, they got shut down because the chick was whacking off the dolphin. Because not on anything like weird, not on anything.
So what was the real reason?
Not on
It was
anything
like,
weird.
No, it was just because he was like all horny and like distracted.
Oh,
so she
yeah.
would just like, she's a scientist, bro. She would do it like scientifically.
Yeah.
Like,
Smart.
Scientifically jerk off the dolphin.
Scientifically whack off the dolphin.
Scientifically
and then it would be
cup the balls.
And then
for science.
and then it would be like ready to do like all the tests without like.
Look, you gotta do what you gotta do.
They noticed that giving the dolphins LSD made them more vocal.
Mm-hmm.
So they were
Probably, yeah.
They were microdosing it though. And
Give them a heroic dose, man. See what happens.
See, the hard thing is we don't know what it's like from their perspective.
Right.
it comes
never
off
know.
like immoral.
I don't think we know what it's like from our
immoral and
perspective.
If like
I mean, a lot of people have talked about similar experiences, so we kind of do.
Yeah, we have an idea.
Man, that's wild.
But I mean, we already can't. Whoa.
Don't hold my hand.
We already communicate with cats, dogs, birds, and shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, true. You do communicate with them in a way.
Say, come here, little Fido. Come eat your THC treat. And they'll munch it down.
CBD treats are like a big thing right now.
I can see that being useful for like arthritis dogs and older dogs.
Mm-hmm. It's curious to think about like what would happen if, you know, we just let species continue to evolve, and if, of course, if they didn't die out, like what they would turn into. It's curious to think about what we'll turn into.
Maybe AI will be able to simulate that for us in the future.
We turn into little aliens.
That's right.
We turn into aliens. Then we're not aliens anymore.
We
I mean,
are
I'm
the
still,
aliens.
I'm still
man.
pretty sure that our evolution is kind of done, and it's just going to be like technological evolution. Like
Maybe that's
I think that we could still.
Maybe that's also the natural order, though.
Yeah, I feel like we could still evolve. Like if, you know, like we didn't have AI, but since we have AI, I just feel like it makes sense to create our own evolution.
Yeah.
We think that we know what's best.
I think technology is the natural order of things, though. Like, you know, species will get to a certain point, and then they'll just go further with technology.
Mm-hmm. All hail technology.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah. Cool. Where are we at?
I don't have anything else to talk about.
One second, I'm reading something here.
Oh, okay.
We covered a
Just
lot of
hang out
bases. Shoot the shit.
Still reading about drugs.
Yeah, monkeys doing DMT. So just
Oh.
Oh, nice. I want to know about that.
yeah. I'm
You ever done
trying to read
DMT?
into it.
Oh, Joe Rogan.
I just did it before this started. So far, nothing.
Yeah.
Thorny. What's thorny?
I'm thorny.
Every rose has this thorn.
Okay.
I'm horny.
So they had 3 Rhesus. It's RHESUS.
Reese's?
Monkeys.
Triggers.
They trained to smoke
Yes, I
lettuce
please.
cigarettes. And then so they like locked them in a room with DMT, and it took them like days before the monkeys would even smoke it. But once they did, they would see them like moving around the room and like making gestures at things like they saw things in front of them, as humans would if they were to trip on DMT. So
That's gonna be terrifying.
They kind of got the suggestion that, you know,
They saw some stuffs, man.
I wish there was some way to like get in there, get in someone else's brain and
I was
just
just
like
thinking
watch it on
that.
a
Yeah.
screen.
Mhm.
Like, what the
Take-
I want that
Technology,
with
boy.
dreams. I want that with your dreams, where you can like record your dreams and then watch it back in the morning.
I think it'd be cooler to see
somebody else's
something
perspective.
else.
That's
Maybe
the
even
only
an
way that
animal.
we could prove about colors.
No, it's not. What color's that guitar?
We're not going through this.
But I think it would be wild if you could swap consciousness with like an animal
Yeah,
for a little bit.
for sure.
What color would you say?
I think that'd be potentially dangerous.
That's
like,
blood orange.
what if it took you and put you in that exact mindset of that animal, and you came back just
That's
thinking
what-
like an animal?
normally do.
Take the chance.
Yeah, it sounds
I'll
dangerous.
do it for science.
Yeah, you want to see from their perspective with your intelligence level. With like the human
So
perspective.
yeah, like if you could see with a screen and not like have to
Yeah.
insert anything into your own
Or
self.
even just not with your intelligence, but you come back to your consciousness and you can like evaluate
Understand,
it.
yeah.
Maybe not while you're in there, consciousness.
Yeah. I think the safest way would be like a screen or.
Oh yeah, because man, being a monkey on DMT, that's got to be a trip.
I think being a human on DMT would be a trip.
True.
And on that note,
don't do drugs, kids.
That's right.
And if you do,
give it to a monkey.
Good luck. Give it to a monkey.
And jerk off a dolphin.
For science.
For science. Or else it's weird.
Yeah.
We did it.
Yeah.
We did it.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Boom!